And what is up, everybody? Jason David Frank versus Phil CM Punk Brooks for the UFC in 2015 has broken the internet faster than Kim Kardashian's greasy ass. A lot of haters, though. I don't understand it. You had one guy try to say they should fight amateur before they like everybody else, start from the bottom. Jason David Frank has a 6-0 amateur record in mixed martial arts. Brock Lesnar didn't fight amateur. Bobby Lashley didn't fight amateur. Batista didn't take an amateur fight. And there's a lot of other WWE stars that did, well, I'm not going to say a lot of other, but, a couple of others that went into MMA and did not go amateur. They shouldn't have to. I was like, okay, you get paid to pretend to fight. Now you're going to fight for real for free? Get out of your mind. So, on top of that, someone tried to say that, oh yeah, Jason David Frank, if he's so great, how come he hasn't fought since 2010? He hasn't fought since 2010 because they haven't given anybody worth his time. You have to understand something. I don't understand why they say this about celebrities. Like, if just because you haven't seen a celebrity in a while doesn't mean, oh, they haven't done anything. You have absolutely no idea what they're doing. People try to say for Alfonso Ribeiro, it's like, oh yeah, he hasn't. Oh yeah, after Fresh Prince, he didn't do anything. Like, no, after Fresh Prince, he was casted onto like halfway through the success of In the House, where he played a doctor who was very funny and also an absolute jerk. After that, he got into producing. Same thing with producing television shows. Some of the corny shows that those idiots watch would say, oh, he hasn't done nothing. He probably helps produce those shows. So the man's making money. He's still busy in Hollywood. Jason David Frank, just because you don't see him in Power Rangers and whatever the hell he was thinking for MTV's Undressed, doesn't mean he's not doing anything. The man has, before he got casted to Power Rangers, the man had 3 martial arts schools, 3 different martial arts schools that he owned and operated. He still has those schools. They've gotten so much bigger. He teaches MMA. He started the clothing line Jesus Didn't Tap. So he's a very busy man. On top of that, all the work he's doing with Bat in the Sun and going to Comic-Con after Comic-Con, making all these fan appearances, the man is very busy. For him to have to take 3 to 6 months out of his very busy schedule in order to fight just another nobody, to train to fight another nobody, no. He's already proven himself as a fighter. 6-0 amateur record, did a professional fight, won that fight. The man's 7-0. In mixed martial art competition, whether like combined amateur and he's undefeated. So CM Punk, that is a true test for the both of them to see how well they would honest to God do, because CM Punk, just like Brock, like I said, has been a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner for many years. I'm pretty sure he studied, a bunch of other things. So to pit the two of them together, this is a good way of showing. Jason David Frank, keep in mind, Jason David Frank is 40, so I'm not exactly sure how much longer he's going to be able to ride that train. He's not going to be light heavyweight champion anytime soon, but it'll still be an exciting fight. Take the man for real. CM Punk, like you said, he's 36 years old. He's starting at the same age that Randy Couture did, but keep in mind that was a much different UFC back then, and granted, 36 years old isn't too old, but at the same I don't expect greatness out of either of these guys. But the two of them will be a great fight. No ifs, ands, or buts. And people got to stop hating on the both of them, because you don't know what it is that they're capable of. A lot of these guys that are saying, they can't, oh yeah, this is a mockery of the sport. This is going to kill the sport. No, absolutely not going to happen. Someone tried to say, oh yeah, throw Batman and Robin in there. And they're like, that's what's going to happen next. They did do that. They did Batman and Robin versus Spider-Man. It was a professional MMA bout. They had two guys dressed up as Batman and Robin with MMA gloves, and the both of them versus Spider-Man. It was 2-on-1. Never seen anything like this before. Spider-Man won. Good for him. Shortly, and just so many different comments. People try to say, "Oh yeah, keep this in Bellator." Bellator, that's understandable because Viacom owning Bellator as well as TNA and Spike TV, and for them to try to make it more pro wrestling, kind of like Pride did, because in Japan. They honest to God don't they hold them in the same respect, whether it's just because I don't know how many times I got to say pro wrestling is scripted, it's choreographed, but it's not fake. CM Punk, whether he could actually fight for real remains to be seen. Jason David Frank obviously can fight for real. How far can he go? Also remains to be seen. So this was, like I said, this was something that was supposed to happen. If UFC is going to do this, if enough people are obviously complaining about it, Dana White, there's no reason why he can't, unless Dana White hasn't been paying attention to Jason David Frank. Just like for whatever reason he didn't like Bobby Lashley. He was not impressed with Bobby Lashley at all. Yet Bobby Lashley has a string of victories to his name, and I want to say he's not as technical as Brock Lesnar. He's not as technical as Brock Lesnar was, I want to say. However, he is very strong, and it doesn't look like anybody's gonna be able to beat him anytime soon. If he was to come into UFC, he'd probably do okay, at least for a little while. And you're signing CM Punk, and you're bringing please Dana, bring in Jason David Frank for this. That's all anybody wants to see. It's something that was supposed to happen a long time ago. Please just do it. And while you're at it, sign Bobby Lashley. Get Bobby Lashley in there, and have his first fight against if you sign Brock Lesnar back, sign him to fight Brock Lesnar, please, because that's all anybody ever. That's two things that everybody really, really wants to see. Anyway, I'm done talking. You guys have a good day.